infant formula that God made, which is the infant formula in a mother's breast. We at HHS are encouraging mothers to breastfeed as long as possible because there is no better food for your brain, for your gut microbiome, for your physical growth, for your emotional growth, than what's in God-given breast milk.
Hi, former infant here who was exclusively formula fed. And I'm in good company as someone born in the late 80s when just over half of women started breastfeeding, which sounds low, but when RFK Jr. was born in the mid-1950s, you know, that period of time he always talks about when all the kids were so healthy, only about 25% of women initiated or started breastfeeding, which means about 75% of infants were formula fed when he was born. But now today, around 85% of women in the United States initiate or start breastfeeding, which means almost all women who can breastfeed try to breastfeed. The thing is that number significantly drops pretty quickly, and at 6 months, it's closer to 50%, which to be honest is pretty incredible given how terrible our support infrastructure is for breastfeeding in this country. We are the only high-income country in the entire world to offer no paid family leave program, forcing millions of women to go back to work just a few weeks after giving birth, some after just days. And when they do go back to work, most employers aren't even following the law passed under the Biden administration intended to help, since there were few, if any, policies in place to actually support breastfeeding. We also have socioeconomic barriers in this country, which further complicates the ability to breastfeed, and we have a fragmented healthcare system, particularly in the postpartum period, where there is very little, if any, support for breastfeeding challenges that many of us face. If our government actually wants breastfeeding rates to rise, they should invest in the evidence-based policies that other high-income countries invest in, and work to reduce the immense barriers to breastfeeding for so many people in this country. What's not going to help is ignoring all of that while reducing funds for several maternal and child health programs, proposing to eliminate all funding for Healthy Start, which quite literally helps women get access to postpartum care and connect them with lactation consultants, and pressuring or shaming postpartum women to somehow individually do more to provide God-given breast milk inside a system that withholds the very support that makes breastfeeding possible in the first place.